Hello. So we are back for part 2 of Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy III is technically the title of the copy we're playing, of course, but, you know, it's 6. So anyway, we left off at the 3 scenarios section, the part where the story branches. Terra had, of course, escaped the control of the Empire and made her escape with Locke and Edgar to the Returners' hideout. As they were there, South Figaro was invaded by the Empire, so the Returners' leader, Banon, and Terra, and Edgar and his brother Sabin, who had joined along the way, made their escape on the river, while Locke went back to infiltrate South Figaro under occupation. As they make their escape on the raft, the party's attacked by the Octopus Ultros, and Sabin gets separated from the party following that battle. So that's basically where we're at. The story branches into 3 parts, which you can play in any order. We actually played the part with Terra, Edgar, and Banon making their way to Narsh from the last little bit of the river trip already, because that's the shortest of the 3 scenarios, and I usually do them shortest to longest. You don't have to, you can play them in any order, it doesn't matter, but that's the way I usually do it. So yeah, basically we have Locke and Sabin scenarios left to do, and well, that's where we'll pick up. So this is the select screen for those 3 scenarios, and we'll pick Locke. He's the second longest or second shortest, either way, since there's 3. So I usually do his scenario in the middle, and his is a fun one. It has some costume change elements and things like that, so we'll do that. We'll do Sabin, and we'll see how long it takes. We'll see, I mean, how far we get by the time the clock hits, you know, around an hour and a half, 2 hours, and, you know, maybe we'll do the battle for Narsh as well in this part, maybe not. We'll find out. Alright, so first thing we'll do is check Locke's equipment, and yeah, that empties his equipment at the beginning of the scenario. I think it empties everybody's, if I'm not mistaken. So the plumed hat's the best we can do for his helmet. Kung Fu suit for armor. We'll use that mithril shield. For the weapon, we do have the Air Lancet, which has much higher attack power than the Guardian Knife, and it has a wind element, but the Guardian Knife gives a boost to Locke's speed, and he is kind of a speed-based character, especially with his stealing, so I think I'll stick with the Guardian Knife. The evade boost is also nice theoretically, but in this version of the game I'm pretty sure evade is the stat that doesn't actually work, so that may not matter, but yeah, just with the speed boost, I think we'll stick with the Guardian. And might as well use the sprint shoes. This version of the game does not have a run button, so the sprint shoes is the only way to move faster. So that's a nice hint for us, but we're also going into Duncan's wife's house because there's a save point in the basement. So we'll drop our save there. If we try talking to that guy, he'll attack us, which we don't really want to happen, especially the ones in the Magitech armors, since they're on the strong side for, you know, one character, and it's Locke at this point in the game. Alright, so we actually can't go through here yet. We can drop down. He won't let us through. We have to get the merchant's outfit, but I like how he doesn't even say only merchants can pass, he just specifically says people dressed as merchants, so, anyway. Either no elixir in that particular clock, or we might have picked one up already if there was. So, grab a few Phoenix Downs. Let's get an even 40 tonics. And I think that's all we really need in this part. And we could get a few eye drops just to have them. I think darkness doesn't actually work in this version of the game either. Yeah, I'll just keep it at that for now. So we want to steal this guy's clothes. So the merchant attacks us. So we actually get a free plumed hat out of the deal too. We could just... actually, we might want to hang on to that, because we do, in both Locke's and Sabin scenarios, we do get more characters. In Locke's scenario, we get one more, and in Sabin's, we get temporarily one character, and then we get permanently two more. I'm kind of being vague, because again, if you haven't played this before, probably want to play it for yourself, but, you know, might as well avoid spoilers, I guess. So, if there was anything here we may have gotten at the first trip, I don't remember, but, I think there was something in that bucket that we already got. I think we went through town and got every hidden item already. Alright, so... Again, we will be getting another character in Locke's scenario, and I think and I probably spoiled which character it is if you haven't played it, but yeah, I believe she can use the cotton robe, so we'll grab one of those. We already have an extra plumed hat. She can, I believe, use the heavy shield. I think we might find one in a chest during this scenario, but we'll buy one extra one already. Anyway, I meant to say, not already. So you just get a bunch of hints about stealing people's clothes. And we'll grab a regal cutlass for our upcoming character too. Yeah, we got that already. So I think we need to get a soldier outfit now, and that'll get this guy out of the way. And we can only fight the green-suited guys, which are, I guess, the lower-ranking soldiers in the lore. So, this guy. He just has a tonic to steal. Woo! I wonder how Locke gets, you know, all of the guys' clothes off in one move like that. Reminds me of the very short-lived WWF character Fantasio, the wrestling magician, who was so short-lived he literally had one match, one televised match in WWE, and then disappeared. He was played by Spellbinder from USWA. He was actually a decent wrestler, and, you know, decent character as that, but never quite caught on as, you know, in the big time. I think he showed up in TNA early on in a battle royal, and he was like... He was done up like Scott Steiner for some reason, but anyway, as Fantasio, he was a wrestling magician, and his finishing move, literally, was that he took his opponent's underwear off without removing his pants, and the guy was Tony DeVito, Poughkeepsie's own Tony DeVito, that he wrestled. But yeah, the opponent was so shocked that he had removed his underwear without removing his pants that Fantasio was able to roll him up and pin him for 3. And then after that, like, the next trick Fantasio did, I guess, was just disappearing and, you know, never being mentioned again in the WWF, or WWE. So, yeah, we can't afford those. We could probably sell some stuff. We do actually have that rune edge, too. I think Terra might learn Osmose naturally, so once Terra gets Osmose, I might actually go ahead and equip the, rune edge to her. I don't often use that sword, but... Alright, so I don't think we can... I'm trying to remember the order of stuff. I don't think we need to change back to a merchant yet. If you're still dressed as a merchant or in Locke's regular clothes, those guys all just say, I'm not buying anything. And I think they attack you if you're dressed in Locke's regular clothes. Alright, so yeah, we do want to fight this guy. Steal the cider. Alright, there we go. Another free plumed hat, too. And that cider will be in our inventory in the rare section for literally the rest of the game. that never leaves the inventory. So, put the eye drops there, I guess. Well, yeah, we'll throw them there. Again, even though I don't think the darkness status effect actually does anything in this version, I still usually, you know, cure it anyway, just to, you know, remove the animation and the icon on the status screen and all of that. Alright, so we want to go to the old man that wanted the cider now. Thanks, very helpful. It's courage. I don't think there's actually a specific hint that tells you that, but it's the one that makes the most sense anyway. That's actually a hint, so the daughter is a real one, I guess. She actually is on our side, even if this this D-bag here is not. Alright, so there's a hidden passage. You can hear the wind that gets a little louder when you come to this end of the room, so yeah, the hidden passage is behind the bookshelf. Alright, so I'm actually gonna just go back to Locke's default clothes. If you come to this point, well, I'll save this for, you know, after this cutscene and introduction. This scene was made a little less violent in later versions, and I think it was censored due to, I don't think it was like, you know, Nintendo of America or anything. I think it was especially because some of those later versions were not on Nintendo systems. I think there was some specific incident in Japan, and I don't remember what it was specifically, but there was some specific incident in Japan, you know, some criminal case that led them to censor that scene where the guard's hitting her. So yeah, it might have still been intact in the PlayStation version, I don't know, because I didn't play the PlayStation version too much because of the horrendous load times, but at least the GBA version, the Pixel Remaster, probably that iOS version, will have, you know, the guard's just standing there talking to her, basically. This is a case, too, where I like Woolsey's introduction text better, especially for her. You know, the line about the spirit is pure as snow. You know, it's much more poetic than, I don't even remember what it says exactly in the later versions. But, Yeah, in some places, Woolsey's translation really has, it definitely has some more jokes and, pop culture references and things like that, but there's places where, like, I actually like the writing better, too, and that's one of them. So yeah, again, there's a lot of places where I actually like this original translation better, and, give the guy a break. He was given, like, a month to translate this entire game. I forget what it was either 1 month or 2 months. Either way, it was, for the amount of text, it was, like, a nearly impossible project he was given. So anyway, introduced to Celeste, which I think is how it's pronounced. I used to just say Cells when I first played the game in my head, but it's probably supposed to be Celeste, since it's, basically Celeste with 2 letters missing. But, anyway. I'll probably say Celeste anyway, so hopefully that's right. I know I go through Chrono Trigger, like my whole playthrough of that, I say Marley, and I know it's probably, like, the general consensus is that Marley is Marl in Chrono Trigger, but in my head it was always Marley, so that's what I still say. But I think this is supposed to be Celeste. Narrator. He cannot go for days without sleep. Now, if you do go to rescue her with the different outfits on, she has different lines, and if you do rescue her with Locke dressed as the soldier still, she actually says, "Aren't you a little short for an Imperial soldier?" Which is, the line right out of Star Wars New Hope, when Leia says that to Luke when he's enters her cell and he's still dressed as a stormtrooper. So, again, there's a few Star Wars references in this. That's probably the most famous of them, other than Wedge and Vix, which, again, is supposed to be Wedge and Biggs. That one's probably more famous because it just became recurring in the series after this. And again, even Chrono Trigger had those names used. I do have a headcanon for Celeste's age, too, because in all the official material, her age is listed as 18. And again, she's a general. How did you get that rank at 18, even if she is, genetically engineered by the Empire? So in my head, she's, at least a little older. She's at least in her 20s. I think Terra's supposed to be 18 too, but again, she's, again in my head, older than that too. I think there was a thing, a year or two ago where they announced that Mario is only, like, supposed to be 28, I think, and that can't be right. Alright, so let's check Celeste's equipment. Oh, she comes with the hairband. But it's not as good as the Moon Tat, so we'll give her that. I guess she can't use the cotton robe, so I guess we didn't need that. So she can use the Rune Edge effectively already because she has magic. But I think I'll still give her the Regal Cutlass for the escape. Yeah, I thought she could use that robe. Because generally, she can use the same stuff Terra can use. Generally. No pun intended, I guess. I wish I should have gotten an extra star pendant, too. Let's just see what spells she comes with. So, they kind of assign Terra as, Fire Elemental just because she gets Fire 1 to start with, and I guess Celeste is the counterpart to that, since she starts with Ice 1. So yeah, otherwise she has the same spells Terra has currently. I think there's a save point in this room. Save it here. Just in case anything happens on the way out of the basement. So there's a few items in here. 500 gold. Or gil. In every other version. A lot of gil in here. And then a randomly empty chest for no reason. Nothing in any of the pots. So we can get attacked in here. I don't think any of these enemies have anything really specifically worth stealing either, which is probably good because, you know, we only have 2 characters at the moment, so we are at a bit of a disadvantage. Since we're not really stealing here, it might even be worth putting that air lancet on Locke just so he hits a little bit harder. I think I'll do that, actually. Can switch back to that when we get to a part where we want to steal stuff. Alright, so Celeste can use that iron armor, so we'll put that on her for now. There's also some hidden passages in here that lead to some very good treasure that we want to get while we're here. Trying to remember where those hidden passages are. This one, it's not really hidden, but this kind of goes up and around to some treasure chests. Oof. We do get a free shield and a free cutlass, I forgot that. I thought we got the shield, but I forgot we got the cutlass too. Celeste's special ability is Runic, which lets her absorb magic spells. I've always found it somewhat useful in certain battles, certainly the battle that serves as kind of a practice run to introduce that ability is one of them, which we'll get to fairly soon. Yeah, it's one of those abilities. I tend not to even really think to use it a lot of times, but it does have some function to it. There's some battles where it is not a bad thing to use. So that's that stairway on the left. That's one of the places we want to get to, and I'm trying to remember how to get to it. I thought it was in here. Many times as I played this, you'd think I'd just have, you know, the entire game memorized. And I probably kind of do, but I just kind of forget exactly where the entrance to that stairway is. There it is, I think I'm in it. As I get attacked. The one good thing about back attacks is that it starts your characters in the back row, so the free, as long as they're physical attacks, the free shots the enemies take don't do quite as much damage if your characters are already in the front row. Of course, if they're already in the back row, that's not necessarily a good thing. But we have these two in the front for now. Yeah, there we go. So there's some stuff down here. Is there a hidden chest here? Maybe not. Guess not. There is a hidden chest here, which has the ribbon in it, which is very useful. It's a kind of a Final Fantasy staple, I think, from Game 1, Final Fantasy 1. The ribbon eliminates all status effects. So we'll put that on Celeste for now. In some games it was actually classed as a helmet. In Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 5, neither of which had relic slots. I guess 5 did have accessories, but the ribbon was still classed as a helmet in that. So I think there's just one more chest in this dungeon, and then we can get out and save, and then go to the cave. It might actually be worth stealing another set of mithril claws from that, I forget what it is, Rhinotaur, or whatever he's called, that, lizard-looking guy that you fight in the overworld around South Figaro. Might be worth, trying to find one of them and stealing mithril claws for Sabin, because magically any items that you pick up here, Sabin will be able to use in his scenario. Doesn't make sense, of course, but, it's just game mechanics. So, we'll give one earring to Celeste for now. She is low on MP, and I don't really want to waste any of our MP recovery items here because I think we really need to. Once we get out of this dungeon, we can either use the save point in Duncan's wife's house, or can we do that actually, or does this spit us out on the overworld? Either way, we can use, tents or sleeping bags, or if we can get to it without being attacked again, Sabin's cabin actually is a free inn, basically. There's more to it than that, of course, and that's one of the ongoing stories. Alright, so yeah, we can... Let's just go up to the cabin here. It's actually Duncan's cabin. I guess I called it Sabin's, but anyway. Put a save down, and since we're going to be trying to steal here, go back to the Guardian Knife for the speed boost. So yeah, let's just see if we can get that extra set of, I shouldn't have sold the first one in the first part, but that extra set of mithril claws for Sabin. Stay somewhat near the cabin. We'll heal one more time after we get those. Assuming we do, we're just getting the grease monks for now. if we don't get one in the next, I'll say 2 battles, at least see the enemy that drops it in the next 2 battles, we'll give up and just go to the cave. You might be able to buy one at the beginning of Sabin scenario anyway. So, we'll give it actually just one more battle. Let's do that. Oh, here's one. Oh, there we go. That was easy. once we got the guy in battle. All right, so we'll heal up at the cabin again, and then we'll head out to the cave. Nice, so our healing items are properly grouped. It's kind of annoying, I have to do it one slot at a time, but at least they stay like that afterwards, even if you click arrange. Alright, so just going through this cave is the end of Locke's scenario, and then we'll pick up Sabin's. If we do raid the chests in the cave now, they have better items than if we got them the first time through, including a thunder rod, that can be a big hit on the boss at the end of this cave. But I believe one of the chests, if we wait till the world of, well, I don't want to say it, spoil it. If we wait till the second half of the game, I believe one of the chests turns into a hero ring at that point, which is a very good item. So, there are other hero rings that you can get elsewhere in the game, but I think it would be worth having the extra one. So, yeah, I think I'll just leave the chests alone again this time. Again, even though the Thunder Rod would be a big hit on the boss in this area. Sucks. So Locke has stopped. So let's try to end this quickly. There we go. We'll be using Runic against the boss in this area anyway, and that'll refill Celeste's HP. Actually, the healing spring right here will too. Even before that. So I'm gonna go ahead and... I don't think it matters, but just in case we want to... I think these two get unequipped anyway, if I remember right. But, you know, just in case they don't and we want to use the sprint shoes in Sabin's scenario. It's coming out of the wall. So this is the fight where they teach you to use the Runic ability. Tunnel armor. Free air lancet there, in case we want an extra one. And since this fight kind of wants you to use Runic, I'm gonna switch the Guardian for one of the air lancets, so Locke does a little more damage. He's gonna be our main attacker in this, and we don't have the Thunder Rod to use. Thanks for that. They want us to use Runic, and then the thing just... I know it's all just a random number generator, but the thing just... well, actually, it might have a battle script. Yeah, the thing just keeps using physical attacks. Oh my god. I haven't done this badly in this battle. I don't think ever. Locke. Alright, so... get Runic going again, and then we'll have Locke heal Celeste on the next turn. Oh, please hit Locke, thank you. Don't want to waste another Phoenix down. What the hell happened? This is not a hard battle. It just... lost the rhythm or something. I've never done this badly in this battle. I don't think, including the first time I played the game. Okay, now we're back in business. Locke, do a little healing here. Hey. The tech laser counts as a spell, fortunately, so her Runic will actually protect from that. Okay. Come here. Just a seat for you. You can come up here. Ah, here we go. So on to Sabin's scenario. So this is the longest of the three. It has probably some of the more iconic moments of this early part of the game. Alright, so we'll put that extra Mithril Claw on him. I guess it didn't unequip him. Yeah, he still has the Star Pendant and the Genji Glove. And that's a good setup for Sabin right now, so... keep that. This is just a little bit of flavor and foreshadowing. Does his bucket have anything before I forget to check it? It does not. Never did understand why this merchant on the Chocobo is dressed as an Imperial soldier. Alright, so we'll want to buy some shurikens. We'll just get 99 of them. We do want to restock some of those. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably fine. So we do, since we're using Shadow, we do want to save often because he can randomly leave the party. And we'll also want to unequip him before we get to the waterfall, because if he's still in the party by the waterfall, he always leaves then. And that ninja gear is actually good for Locke. It's better than what he has currently. Sabin can use it too, I believe, but It's something we'll definitely want to put on Locke. We'll have to pick up some good relics for Shadow when we can. Alright, so we'll drop a save right now. Beakor. It's like the He-Man version of Beaker the Muppet. Beakor. He-Man enemies would be, just be a word or a name or something with, the last syllable replaced with or. Stinkor, I'm specifically thinking of. The half-man, half-skunk guy. I'm going the wrong way. Want to go down there. So we do want to make sure to fight the Stray Cat because when we get Gao, who's a character who can copy enemies' abilities, the Stray Cat is actually one of the strongest he can get. Certainly as far as physical attacks go. Otherwise, I don't really want to fight these. I mean, I have a real former Stray Cat right over here. Side of the mountains. So I think Sabin gets Fire Dance at level 14 or 15, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not too terribly far from getting that. And if we can, we probably want to try to get Fire Dance before the Battle for Narshe, because that's a strong multi-enemy hitting move. Alright, so check Cyan's equipment here, and a sword tech, so he does not have Block or Slash yet. Yeah, his sword tech, the first few are useful in this early part of the game. in especially this original version, it becomes less and less useful as time goes on, because you have to wait so long for it to charge, and you can't use other characters in the meantime. Later versions, certainly by the time of the Pixel Remaster, that was mitigated. The Pixel Remaster has it where he can charge his sword tech in the background, and other characters can still take their turns. So that keeps him a little more useful for his ability. That being said, I do still use Cyan a lot. Some people don't, but he can still become like a physical powerhouse. So I still use him, even if it's just for regular attacks or whatever. I probably should have taken that iron armor off of Celeste, so Cyan could use it here. Oh. Alright, so... So we'll set up his retort first. That'll let him counterattack. No, that killed the guy. That made it easy. It always screws up the character order when you go back to Sabin and Shadow there. I don't know why. Alright, so I think talking to the dog will draw guards. I think we want to hit this. I think if you kick it, the dog comes in and you have to fight the dog. You didn't hear that, Tabby. So, we'll actually give Shadow that, black belt, I guess, too. I don't think he gets the, Interceptor counterattacks yet. So yeah, we do want to go into some of these tents. Because a few of them do have chests in them. I think we can fight that guy, but, we won't. So you potentially can actually knock Kafka out in these little story battles if you hit him hard enough. And yeah, we just did it with the Aura Bolt there. Wait, do I look like a waiter? Alright, so before we fight him again, there's an easy to miss chest. Actually, it's in this tent, I think. But we do want to fight this. A, to get the item that the enemy in it drops, and B, so that it shows up on the Veldt later, where enemies can later show up, and potentially, you know, can drop the same item again there. before it summoned more enemies. So yeah, that drops a green beret, which is something we probably want to get as many of as possible before the battle for Norsh. We'll put it on Sabin for now. He has lower defense and Shadow. But yeah, the green beret is a very good helmet for a while, so as many of those as we can get. We can get at least one more just in a chest during Sabin's scenario, but potentially if we can fight that thing on the Veldt a couple times while we're getting some rages for Gao. That'll give us at least a few extra ones. Yeah, with multiple enemies, unfortunately, you can't choose which enemy the Aura targets. The Shadow does actually get the Interceptor counters, so I guess we don't really need to have that black belt on him. Even though, you know, character-wise it fits. Maybe put the black belt on Cyan when we have him back. Not equip that black belt. Alright, so this is rough. What Cyan finds in his own quarters here. Yeah, this game really does put its characters through the ringer. I mean, one of the kind of main themes of the game really is, you know, loss and redemption and recovery. And, yeah, like, just about every character, whether it's told in flashback, things that already happened to them, as is the case with Locke and Satsura later, or things we actually see happening in real time, like Cyan here. Just about all of them go through some rough stuff. That goes all the way from, you know, main characters all the way to, you know, the cute animal mascot, Nog. Even he goes through the ringer. But yeah, Cyan really gets it worse than just about anybody. You know, he sees both his family and effectively his entire country die in front of him. So we don't have control of Cyan yet. We will after a couple of battles. So this is the second of, I think, 3 times in the game where we get to use Magitech armor, at least briefly. So, let's go back to Cyan. I'll give him that black belt. I mean, thematically, True Knight kind of works for him. Let's see. I guess he kind of has the HP to back it up. Take that off. We don't really want people taking more hits than they need to, so... Might as well heal for free while we're... Oh. I guess we'll have to wait till the next battle to use the heal force. occurs to me that I still am using the default window style, but this game does have several different window backgrounds for, you know, the boxes down below where the character information is and the dialogue boxes and everything. So let's just go quickly here. Where's window style? There it is. So I usually use this one, which is actually pretty much the default for Chrono Trigger. Which incidentally, Chrono Trigger I think actually has this style as one of its options, because that has a few different ones too. Yeah, there's like the Chocobo one, which is really distracting. I don't know if anybody uses that, but yeah, the Forest one's kind of cool, but a little distracting on text. The Marble one's kind of nice. This one's a little busy. The metal plate one is, you know, that's kind of nice. But yeah, I usually pick this number 6. So yeah, I'll stick with that, I think, for the remainder. So that's it for our little Magitech armor adventure. And you know, you can never go back to the Imperial base, so that's especially why we wanted to make sure to get that chest with the Telstar enemy and the green beret in it. Phantom Forest. Should just drop a save outside. Again, just in case Shadow randomly leaves us before we get to where we're going. Recovery spring here. If we take that down path on the last screen, I think it spits us out back at the entrance we came in. This is not a good battle. 3 ghosts at once. Fortunately, the sword, or the Aura Bolt on Sabin has a holy element, which is effective against undead. Of course, it's not effective if you don't do the input right. But the button input for Aura Bolt is basically just a Hadouken. It's down, down, left or right, and A. Down, down, left, right, down, down, left, and left. Finally got it out, and then A. So yeah, I always love that background, where you can see the train before you actually get to it. So just one inconsistency, of course, the presence of a train here indicates that there's probably, you know, train lines all over the world that we just never see. So this is kind of an iconic part of the game in general. This is an enemy we definitely want to fight, so we can get its ability for Gao. Not too long from now. So we can get a ghostly ally, who has nothing but the relic ring, which turns him undead. It took me years to notice he actually has a face visible in his portrait. His special ability is Possess, which will kill an enemy, but it also removes the ghost from your party. This is just a little cutscene. Yeah, having the ghost in the party is not a bad thing, even if you don't use the Possess ability, which I usually don't. But, you know, just it fills out the party, so you have one extra target for enemies to, you know, go after. So it spreads out damage more. The ghost doesn't really have a lot of attack power on its own, but, anyway, this is just a little cutscene, kind of like when you got in the Magitech armor about Cyan and his fear of machines. Which is kind of a recurring theme and something he eventually will overcome. Do we need the tent right now? I think we can get by with a couple of tonics. Yeah. Alright, so we'll drop a save. So the good news is, Shadow will not randomly leave while you're on the train. So if you get to the train with Shadow, you're pretty good. You're set with him for a while. And there is a ghost somewhere in here that runs a shop. Some of them just attack you. But there is one in this car, and I think in a couple of cars later, where you can actually buy things from him. So we could refill Shadow's shurikens for one thing. Is it? No, not that one. Big disadvantage for this party lineup is that, you know, there's no magic healing ability or anything. So, Sabin, Shadow, Cyan, and the Ghost are all pretty much just limited to using items. And I think the Ghost, if you use healing on him in battle, it actually hurts him because he has the Lich Ring permanently attacked, or the Relic Ring in this version. So I think you have to use any potions or whatever on him outside of battle. It's just a regular battle. I think these are called Living Dead in other versions, but yeah, I like the name Still Going for these guys. I guess they're zombies, right? Like zombie guards. That's another recruitable ghost. But you obviously can only have up to 4 party members, so we have 1 ghost already. Get that. Yeah, since this guy doesn't sell tents, we might as well get a few more sleeping bags. Hazer is a good ability to have for Gao, too. So yeah, with Gao, I don't think I'll try to, you know, max out his rage list, which I've never really had the patience to do anyway. But there are some essentials that I'll make sure to get now, and then, you know, at other points in the game, we can stop by the Velt and try to get some more essential rages for him. Big part of it is just making sure you fight the enemies that have those abilities, so that they show up on the Velt so you can get them. So yeah, Hazer, the bomb enemy is, again, a good one to have. Templar is another one we want to... Templar we want to make sure to get. Stray Cat, for sure. That's, again, like, secretly one of the strongest in the game. Not so secretly, but, you know, it's an early game enemy, so you wouldn't think necessarily it would be that strong, but it actually is. I think this car doesn't have an exit, but you still have to... no, it does have... It doesn't open on the other side, but you do have to go into it. Alright, so let's... have Ghosty heal Sabin. I think there might be a shop ghost in here, too. Let me just try a tonic on the ghost. Because again, I know heal spells will definitely hurt him. I'm not 100% sure if, yeah, items do too. But again, outside of battle, you can use the items on the ghost and he's fine. Alright, so we got the shop. That drain spell actually heals the ghost if he gets hit with it. I think that happened once before. Alright, so I need to hit that switch. Might as well just use the tent. This enemy took me a while to kind of figure out what I was looking at, because I always thought the head was like the smoke at the top, which does have like a dragon face, but it's actually, like, the enemy itself is supposed to be the skeleton that's breathing the smoke out, if you look below that top face. So you get a little cutscene here. And after the cutscene, you can return to this table as many times as you want, and you get different dialogue with each character. Or a different little scene with each character. I won't go through all of them on this playthrough, but, you know, if you're playing, make sure to keep sitting down at the table with each character in front, and again, you'll get little different scenes and reactions, including the ghost. If you put the ghost in front, he even has a little reaction here. And there are actually a couple of treasures in the dining car, which you can't get to from there, but come over here, you can go in the back, and I think it's an earring, yeah. So we have two. We could pair them on either Terra or Celeste, or we could just put one on each of them. But the earring does stack if you put two of them on one character. Look like a manicurist. What does that even mean, Sabin? So this is basically just a joke battle. He has, I don't know if it's 1 HP. He has very low hit points anyway, and we probably won't even have to do anything because his sort of opening salvo hits all characters, and when he hits Cyan, who has the counterattack from the black belt, yeah, there it is, he'll just wipe him out in one hit. So you get 1 gil and 1 green cherry for your efforts. So we want to try to take the bombs out first because they can self-destruct. They're a little bit more dangerous. that was a good example of, you know, why it's not a bad thing to have one of the ghosts, or if you don't have Shadow, you can have 2 ghosts in your party. And again, it spreads out damage, and, you know, the ghost can take a hit from, like, Demi, and, you know, it saves one of your characters from getting a big hit. This guy's a little stronger than most of the regular enemies on the train, so we'll try to take him out quickly. Ooh. See if we can finish the battle before needing to heal anything. Just keep using all our strongest attacks. We should be able to... He should go down soon. Ah. Oh! You know what, we can't even do Possess because, well, that's one way to do it. I mean, that's supposed to be him stealing damage from our characters, but the ghost is the relic ring, so he's undead, so... It actually ended up backfiring on that enemy. It healed the ghost fully, and almost fully anyway, and killed him. So that was luck on our part. Like, dumb luck. That's how that battle ended. So we'll put the Hyper Wrist on Cyan. And Sniper Sight is definitely good to have. I don't think we need to use it on anyone right now, but it is a very useful relic in certain situations, so we do want to make sure to have it. I mean... Might as well put it on somebody, I guess. Shadow has the open slot. We'll just need to make sure to remember to unequip him before he leaves the party. So yeah, we're just about at the end of the train segment. And use some of these sleeping bags. Alright, so I think the instructions are here. I'll wait to heal until we're sure we're not going to have another fight before the boss. Alright, so... Iconic boss fight here. And there's one thing we have... I mean, you don't have to, but we have to do it anyway. Once Sabin's turn comes up. If you've seen the memes, if you're familiar at all with anything from this game, you probably know what's coming. Have to do it. Have to suplex the train. I think that's actually an oversight in terms of programming. I think most bosses have, like, they're flagged as heavy, so suplex won't work on them. But for whatever reason, the Phantom Train does not have that, so you can suplex it. It probably doesn't weigh as much as you think, though, because it is a ghost train. That said, I think Orbital is actually probably going to do more damage to it than Suplex. Just because that's a holy type. Or in this particular version, Pearl type attack. Of course, you can also cheese it. You can just use a because it is counted as undead, and undead enemies, including most of the undead bosses. You can just use a Phoenix down on them, and it'll actually kill it. Since healing items work on undead characters, sort of in reverse. Alright, so we got it anyway. This is a piece of music that is very similar to a lot of Uematsu's work on Final Fantasy VII, especially that work is like that sort of sequence of notes, or general sequence anyway, is used in a number of tracks in Final Fantasy VII. I feel like there might even be a track in 5 that uses a similar kind of motif. It's a, it's an Uematsu thing, I guess. Yeah, again, they really put Cyan especially through the ringer. A lot of characters do eventually have their own tragic moments. I mean, most of them do in some way or another. I mean, even Shadow, we eventually find out, has a, pretty tragic and turbulent past. We'll eventually find out more about that, even. Alright, so we'll heal up after that boss fight. Again, drop a save just to make sure we can get there with Shadow so we can unequip him. May even be worth running from some of these battles just to be 100% sure, but we'll just try to end them quickly. Alright, we got there with Shadow, so let's get all of his stuff off. I think Sabin... Yeah, Sabin can actually use that ninja gear, too. I think we'll save it for Locke. But, yeah, Sabin can use it. I think Gal, who we'll get momentarily, can use it, too. Yeah, Shadow will always leave at this point if you still have him. To quote Tobin Bell in well, whatever Saw movie it is where he says that. Piranha. My favorite Tobin Bell role, though, is still the record store guy on Seinfeld. I mean, what do you got here? You got Don Ho live from Honolulu. I'll give you $5. $5? Do you know how much those records are worth? Yeah, I do. $5. This is technically a boss here. He's really just a little bit stronger than the regular piranhas, and he can cast ice. He's not a whole lot stronger. He's easier than the Phantom Train, certainly. And we're introduced to Gao here, although he will not join the party just yet. Save. So we just, for now, want to go to the town on the other side of the map. It may even be worth running from some of these because, we'll fight them. But, you don't get experience from enemies on the Veldt. So, unless you're hunting for rages for, Gao or trying to get certain items from certain enemies that show up here, it's not necessarily worth fighting all of these. You do still get gold, so I guess that's something. Still. Basically, for the most part, any regular enemy that you've fought will show up in, like, the enemy rotation on the Veldt. There's some formula to how it determines what enemies you're fighting, but like these guys would have been nice to have show up when Gal was in the party so we could get the Templar as a rage. No, and we can't, I'm just gonna have to scare him off since we don't have a dried meat. Alright. So you can stay at the inn, obviously, but there's actually a free bed in the back of the relic shop, and that's really just because of what happens to this town later in the game, where the inn will no longer be available. But you can use that free bed in the world of, again, I don't want to say spoil too much, but in this early part of the game you can still use it. So we have 2 mithril claws already. Can't get that for Cyan. If Cyan had a Genji glove, it would even be worth buying 2 of that sword, but let's see what he has. We have those for Gal. These will be good for a long time for our magic users, the Magus hats, so we'll get those. Let's sell some crap off here. Yeah, we could sell that second air lancet. We don't need 2 of those. Mithril knife, I might keep that just, you know, for using it as a throwing weapon. I could probably ditch the mithril blade, although that could be thrown by Shadow. We could have kept the air lancet to be thrown too, I guess. But, you okay? I think Tabby was dreaming and woke herself up. Might even be worth selling that remedy just for the money for now, since most of the status effects we'll be facing at the moment we already have items to heal anyway. So we have that for, I forgot Locke could use the iron armor. So we have 1 extra that we'll want to put on Edgar. Or we have 1 extra for Cyan right now, actually. Probably would be worth getting 1 extra for Edgar. Get an extra 1 of those for Gao. We'll get a bandana for Gao too. Again, hopefully, well, we will be able to get at least 1 more green beret. Hopefully we can get, you know, even more than that. So, do that. Yeah, I think Tabby was dreaming and woke herself up. Hope it wasn't a bad dream, little girl. Okay. Alright, so what are we doing? We do want to buy a dried meat from the item store. I think that's all we can afford right now. So this is actually like a little quest line where if you keep reading letters and then sending things for this guy, eventually he gives you a special relic, the Tintina bar, which might be useful, and it can also be traded for other items later when the Colosseum opens. They become much more important characters later in the game. And we're out of money, basically, so it would be nice to maybe get an extra white cape or two, but for now. So we got the dried meat, so let's see if we can find Gao now. That's the free bed, by the way. So, you never really need to use the inn in this town. And eventually you can't. That's why that free bed is there. There are actually a few enemies that are technically bosses that do show up on the belt too. The Marshal here is one of them. There we go, come on. There he is. Okay. So just need to use the dried meat on him. Simmer down, sirs. There's a good line to remember for real life. And yes, even Gao gets a tragic backstory, too, eventually. We've actually seen hints of it already. Okay, so put some stuff on Gale. Give him the bandana, kung fu suit. I'll actually give him that mithril glove for a little extra protection, since when he uses his rages, he's not controllable. I'll give him a star pendant too. Okay. So we should take a look at what rages he already has, and so again, Bomb, I would say Bomb, Hazer, Stray Cat, Templar. Probably at least those 4 we want to try to get. So just kind of hang out by the town here. And again, I'm not going to try to complete the list, so I think other enemies that we don't necessarily need the rages for, I'm just going to skip leaping on. Just fight them, you know, get more gold. Even though we're not getting experience. Guard might actually be worth getting. It is just kind of a basic attack, but still. Go ahead and get that. It's also the first, I believe it's the first rage that shows up on the rage list when you open it, so if you do just want to do a regular attack / occasional critical with Gao, that's a good one to have. And you do get the rages for the enemies that he comes back with, too. I thought that would cure his blindness, too. Well, again, I don't think that really does anything, so we'll stay at the inn soon anyway. Alright, there's Hazer. We want that one. Oh, it would be nice if he came back with this battle, too, so we could bomb as well. Ah, yeah. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt. Oh no, 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 no. Oh. Ah, son of a bitch. Excuse me. Well, it didn't set us back too much, other than we don't have guard or hazer or anything. Alright, that's embarrassing. Let's try that again. When you get game over, it automatically reloads your last save, incidentally. Well, there's guard again. We seem to be getting the enemies more or less in the same order. There's Hazer again. Okay, please don't die, guys. Be a little smarter about this fight this time. I hope Gao comes back from this one. Because sometimes he doesn't. It's semi-random, I think. Ah! We didn't get bomb. Sure, now he comes back. Just looking at the clock, it's right at about the 1:59 mark right now, so if we don't get in the next couple of minutes the other rages we want now, I might just save here and pick up in the next part with, you know, getting those and then going through Serpent Trench and to the Battle of Narsh. I could even try getting some of them off camera next time before starting, you know, that way there's not as much downtime on the video. Yeah, guard's not a bad one to have. You know, just to have a regular attack and critical hit. Get guaranteed critical if he uses the critical ability. Oh, Templar, we want that. Ooh, that was a nasty critical hit there. Stray cat, we want that. And then after that, let's see, what else did we want? Bomb and Templar, I think. Trillium, if Trillium shows up, that might be a good one too. I think that gas bio. So we might want to try to get that. Hey, buddy. I'm just gonna save after we hit each one on our list. Oh, good, Bob. Restock on tonics. We'll be going to town too. That's one of the reasons we wanted the bomb one. Hazer does bolt too, which we can't even do ourselves for a long time otherwise. And that'll make Gao useful for the Magitech factory dungeon. Okay, we have that already. Yeah, Templar does fire too, and it also casts Safe on Gale. Do a couple more now, then save. So yeah, either way, we'll do the Serpent Trench after this, or at the beginning of the next part. Alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits after this battle. So we'll pick up, we'll try to get a couple more rages for Gao. I mean, we could probably even get by with the ones we have already, but, yeah, we have Spray Cat, we have Bomb and Templar and Hazer. Yeah, you know what? Let's go into town. I think I'll not bother trying to get more after this, but I will still save after we restock a couple things. We'll send the letter for the guy. Stay in the free inn. Actually, let me grab a white cape while we're there. Probably the best we can do at the moment. I didn't get the green beret from the Telstar on the Velt. I think we're pretty well set here for the time being. Alright, so let's just go outside and save. We'll pick up with Serpent Trench and then the Battle for Narsh next time. Alright, so that's Final Fantasy VI Part 2 in the books. We will pick up with, Part 3 next time. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we will see you later.